All right, welcome back to the Jason Gray Show. Super Bowl this weekend, Jeff.
That's right.
Are you excited?
I am.
Okay, so tell me first of all, who's your pick?
I picked Philly.
You pick Philly. Okay, I pick Philly too. Okay, so that's great. You pick Philly by any points? What's the odds on Vegas? What's the Vegas odds? Do we know?
I am going. It's an offensive game, so I'm probably looking at 27-24.
Ooh, that's a tight game. You know, the great thing about the NFL this year that I've really enjoyed is there's been a lot of tight games.
Right.
All year long.
Yep.
Right? And this would be great because this last weekend, not the Pro Bowl weekend, but the weekend before, I sort of lost interest a little bit on that game because it was such a big gap and it was a blowout. Right. It was tough to watch. And so these close games have been amazing. Okay, so what okay, this is a loaded question. What do you think about Mahomes' wife and her brother?
Do
you follow them at all?
I do.
Okay.
I do, and some of it's ridiculous. I think his brother's a little bit ridiculous.
Yep.
I think that should not tie into what he does on the field.
True.
Ever.
True.
But
it's
2023, and
yeah.
we gotta, you can't just have your follower, you can't be just talking yourself.
Yeah.
It's just like you have to have a support crew that comments for you. So.
Right. Yeah. It's interesting. I like Mahomes. Right. I think he's really talented. I mean, he's creative.
Yes.
You know, he almost felt a little bit like a Russell in regards to how creative he was in regards to scrambling and making those off passes. Okay. So, what do you think the strong suit is for Kansas City first? What do you think's the strong piece for them?
I think it's going to be the offense. They've got a ton of weapons.
Yep.
They've got a creative quarterback that, he doesn't get sacked too much.
Nope.
I think his ankle's probably going to be a deterrent for him staying in the pocket a little bit longer. Yeah. But other than that, he can put the ball anywhere he wants.
Yeah. And that last game, he scrambled at the last second to win that game. If you think about it, right? That play was crazy. I felt really bad for the guy that created that personal foul at the end of that game because, man, and then when you're in the tense portions of that game, right?
So that's what I'm hoping. That's one of the things. Is just like I pretty much lost my mind with that game.
Did you?
Because it was just like they're going to let penalties decide. They're going to let the officiating decide the game.
It felt like that a lot, didn't it?
It did.
Yeah.
And they were key calls for key scores.
Exactly.
And key possessions. So
you never want the refs to sort of get involved with the game. Okay, so let's talk about what do you like about Philly? What's your strong piece on Philly? You're obviously the offense, but what do you think about the quarterback and receivers and whatnot?
I like the quarterback. I mean, he's not as creative as Mahomes.
No,
but
he's very traditional.
He can move the ball down the field.
Yep. He's a big guy.
He's a big guy, so he can run guys over. I mean, he's the size of a linebacker.
Right.
So
you get that 4th and 1. Man, isn't it crazy? It almost seems like this whole season, a 4th and 1 is like nothing anymore. They're really just getting the running backs behind him and just pushing the guy through.
If they run up the middle, then there could be some challenges because everybody tends to stack the defensive line when they're when they think it's going to be a sneak or something. Yeah. But Jalen, when he runs around the outside or that type of thing, he's going to have a cornerback on him.
For sure.
He's 220, and you're going to have a little cornerback.
185.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
So guess who's moving backwards?
Yeah, the other guy, for sure. Yeah, and he'll put his head down, too.
Yep.
I mean, he'll put those shoulders and head down for sure. Well, it should be an interesting game. What do you think of the halftime show? Who's playing halftime?
I have no idea.
Neither do I. But last year's halftime was amazing.
Yeah.
And you had Snoop Dogg and you had everyone, all those guys. That was great. Okay, so you're saying 27-24. I'll go with, man, that's a great one. I'm going to go 27-18. And I'll stick. I'm going with Philly too. I think Philly's for sure the team to beat all season long.
Yep.
I mean, they were 8-0 at the beginning, right?
Yeah. They had a fast start and held on to it. It's just like I think that they lost the games because Jalen was out or injured or something like that. But they're a strong team and all the pieces are coming together at the right time. And so
I totally agree with you. What do you think about what did you just say? Oh, it's Rihanna.
Oh, I love it.
Rihanna's great. She's
Rihanna.
awesome. She's cute. She's great. What do you think about the defense? I really think the Phillies' defensive line has put pressure on teams all season long, and they're really good against the run. I mean, you got Kelsey, you got the Kelsey brothers. But you got Kelsey on the Chiefs, who's, man, he's really good.
I think that just as far as Kansas goes, I mean, they're able to stretch the field in certain zones so they can still throw the ball.
Yeah.
Even though it's underneath screens, maybe outs, that type of thing.
Right.
They've always got a running back available. So if you need to bail Mahomes out.
Yeah.
But I think that's the game. It's not big giant plays.
No, they're really
under 15 yards, that type of thing.
Exactly.
But
That's that. And that can be a frustration for teams when they're just getting these nicky-nack, just little things over and
little
over.
chunk plays.
Yes, and then they get the defense that gets tired because it's exhausting being on defense. They're working harder for sure than the offense for sure. So yeah, that's always a struggle. All right, well, so let's read when this is all over with. Let's come back in. Let's see how we did on this whole thing. Eagles, go Eagles. Go Eagles. All right, everyone, thank you very much for attending, watching the show. We appreciate it.